they're excited. In the world of professional sports, we're in a team sport, but there always is the risk of individualism coming in because it's a career, and the success of one may cost you ice time and ultimately your ability to earn over your career. So there's a delicate balance I find in pro team sports, and right now that's probably the most impressive thing I see from our group.
That is Kent Hughes moments ago, part of his mid-season press conference. Welcome back, Habs Lunch. Campbell versus Gallo. Lots to take in, what he's impressed about with the Montreal Canadiens, how they're able to stick together as a group. They've been dealt a big laundry list of injuries, and they've had to plug and play a lot of their players. But I think Kent Hughes was in a pretty good mood this afternoon.
As he should be. Mm-hmm. He's the general manager of a team that's just a couple points out of top spot in the Atlantic Division. And based on some of the injuries that you've spoken about, I'm not going to say Montreal has overachieved, but they had to really battle to get to the spot that they are in. It did not come easy. And Campbell, there were times this season where things could have completely imploded on the Canadiens, and it didn't. It didn't go that way. I remember being on post-game shows where people were jumping off the bandwagon. People were in full panic mode. People were, how about this? Campbell, I can tell you the date. I remember the date. November 13th. The Montreal Canadiens lose to the Dallas Stars 7-0 at the Bell Center. Yep. I'm on the post-game show, and fans, and my co-host Pete Frionis, fans and Pete Frionis are telling me that the Canadiens should be focused on the lottery. The lottery! We were in November back then because that's how it looked for the Canadiens. You're losing players. They're dropping like flies. Down goes Laine. Down goes Goalie. Down goes Newhook. Down goes Doc. And you're thinking, how are they going to be able to just tread water here to buy some time for these guys to come back with injuries? And yet, they found a way. Next man up. You know, they were getting bad goaltending at points from both goalies. Jacob Fowler comes up, plays well. Jakub Dobeš ends up turning his game around. Montembeault recently has figured things out. Peaks and valleys with every season, right? But you talk about Kent Hughes being happy. Here's the thing, Campbell. Here's the thing, and I try to caution people this all the time. Fans of this hockey team are, in general, hyper-focused on this hockey team. Zoom out and start looking at what's going on in some of those other markets. Every market deals with injuries. Every market deals with blowout losses. Every market deals with peaks and valleys, with the exception of Colorado. Colorado, they're just going to run the table.
Well, they're in a valley because they lost to Florida. That's their valley.
That's their valley? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much just a peak with Colorado, and they're going to go like wire to wire, first place in the National Hockey League, win the President's Trophy. But for the most part, especially in the Eastern Conference, if you look around, every team is going through the same type of thing you are. The season is a little bit unique because of the Olympics. There's a distraction for some of the players on the Olympics. There's the condensed schedule. Some of these players are going to have to go through the grind of traveling to Milan and competing for their country in some of the best hockey that they've ever played in their lives. There's a lot that goes into this season. But I think sometimes we need to zoom out and pay attention to what's going on in other markets, because when the sky is falling in this market, it's not easy. And I want to applaud the players, because it does feel at times like there's a dark cloud that hangs over this team when things go poorly. And they are able to see the light through the dark clouds and get out on the other side, have a really awesome road trip, and now have a homestand with first place in sights.
So Ken Hughes speaks, lots of different topics, talking about Kapanen. He believes in him as a second-line center. By the way, Oliver Kapanen is one of those few gifts left from the Marc Bergevin era. He was drafted in 2021. The progression of Hage and keeping 3 goalies. And he did address it, but didn't have an answer, just knowing that the schedule's tight coming up.
How could he have an answer?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think...
I think your timeline that you spoke about yesterday makes a lot of sense with the Olympics. You keep Fowler for January, make sure he gets his games in, because he's not here to sit and be the extra body. He's here to play.
Well, the first thing Kent Hughes said was, we have 5 games in 7 days.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hockey. There's a lot of hockey. And I also think there's something to be said about facing NHL shooters in practice. Mm-hmm. Right? And practice is a big thing, too. Now, when there's 3 goalies, a little bit harder to share the net in practice, and it becomes complicated. But look, I think we sometimes make too big a deal out of how much players play and how many games goalies get into. It's not going to completely disrupt his development if he's here for a month and maybe he plays 2 fewer games with the Canadiens than he would have played if he was with the Rocket. People get hurt and miss 4 to 6 weeks. It doesn't completely cripple their projections in their NHL careers. He's good enough right now to play in the NHL. The 3 goalie system isn't ideal, but until you can firmly declare that Sam Montembeault has figured out his game and can play 2 out of every 3 starts, then Fowler has to stay, because the number one priority here is the Montreal Canadiens, and right now Fowler being with the Canadiens helps them towards their goal of making the playoffs.
On the trade front, of course, that was addressed on trades, and Kent Hughes stating that, yes, they're in the market to maybe help their top 6, but his follow-up was, at what cost? So there's going to be a cost if the Canadiens want to add something to their top 6. Right now, looking at the roster, there's a hole in their top 6 that they would like to fill. Could it be filled by someone that's going to come back from injury? He was asked about Kirby Dach. Hesitation. Said, yes, we've seen Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Kirby Dach play together in the past before. However, he said, we're going to be cautious with Dach and make sure he's 100% ready before he comes back. It's an ankle injury on the same leg that he had the knee injury. They want to make sure that, so they're going to just make sure he's ready because they want him to finish the season.
Well, I also think it's pretty simple, though, because you have 3 injured forwards, right?
Yes.
Unless I'm missing somebody. It's Laine, Newhook, and Dach.
Anderson.
So
Evans.
you have 5 injured forwards. It's going to get complicated if you add another body to the forward group unless people are going out the door the other way. Because right now, you have 5 injured forwards, you have 3 American Hockey League players. With all due respect to Sammy Blais, Joe Veleno, and Owen Beck. They're all capable of playing in the NHL, but I think they are all not as good as the players that you just referenced coming back. So who are the other 2 that are no longer with this team?
Yeah, you deal with that when that comes because...
No, I understand. I understand
someone's
you
going to get hurt before they come back.
But
or
they might not.
Someone may not. And if you get completely healthy, you're going to have to make a roster decision. But you don't make that decision today.
Of course, you don't have to make that decision today.
Or you make a trade, like you said, that you have to ship someone out if you're going to bring someone in, or you ship 2. You make the 2 for 1.
But what becomes complicated here, Campbell, is if you do get completely healthy and all those guys are back and you have to, quote-unquote, keep 2 Montreal Canadiens forwards out of the lineup, who do you think are the 2 odd men out? For me, the 2 odd men out, I don't even know if I want to say it.
Say it when you need to say it. You want to say it, then say it, but...
Who would they be for you?
Well, you don't...
Say it now.
You don't want to say it.
I'll say it. I don't give a you-know-what.
Then say it.
The 2 odd men out for Montreal, if I'm going with my best 12 and everybody is healthy, it's Patrick Laine and Brendan Gallagher.
I don't know if I'm going the Laine route. To me, it might be someone...
And then I'm going to have almost $15 million in cap space sitting out.
Yeah.
So which 2 is it for you?
Probably if everybody's healthy.
If everybody's healthy. Who are your 2 scratches?
It might be Texier and Gallagher.
Texier and Gallagher. Okay, so we're kind of on the same page with Gallagher.
Well, if you're doing the math, is it going to be him? No, it won't be.
Well, who's it going to be then?
Well, I
think it's going to be Jake Evans?
No.
Think it's going to be Josh Anderson?
Nope.
So then who are you looking at?
Could be Bolduc.
You think Gallagher plays over Bolduc?
I think the coaching staff might make that decision. I'm not saying you would make that decision.
I'd be surprised.
Just letting you know. But I don't think they're going to get there. Because,
this is where the conversation gets fun.
Yes, but they have to all get healthy because there's still 5 injured forwards and none of them are on the brink of making a return.
Dach is close.
They just told us they were going to take their time with Dach. Laine was on the ice, but he's still not with the group. So whatever it is, those first 2 don't really matter because you mentioned there's 3 guys on the fourth line that are going to be coming out. It's when everybody gets a new hook is way further down the line. Like, I don't even know if Newhook comes back this year. Like, he was out for months. So, you don't even really have to go down the Newhook. I don't know what the timelines here are going to be for Evans and Anderson. That's a whole different – the NHL's long. We'll see what happens. But they will have to make a decision at some point.